So we're going about Dark Lane that you remember in your era. Where did you go to school when you were a kid?
Well, when I started off, we were at the Institute.
And where was that?
By Malmsley Hall,
Yeah.
Church of England. Is going from
And how many used to go there?
up to the age of 5.
And where did you go then?
We up to the age of 8. Then you went up to Malmsley Church of England.
Yeah.
That was at Darley Bank.
Now that was a Church of England school.
No,
Yeah, your chapel was
both of them
Yeah.
Church of England.
Your chapel was a Methodist, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But them were the 2 schools that
Yeah.
I went to. But Mallinsley was the senior that was up Darley Bank.
Yeah. Do you remember the brickworks that was at the back of Dark Lane? What was it called? The California Brickworks, was it called?
Ranelagh?
No, the other one. That was between you and Hollands Wood.
Dark Lane Brickworks.
That was called Dark Lane Brickworks.
Yeah.
Well, that finished.
That finished in 19... It finished 2 or 3 times.
Did it?
Yeah. It was rented by Bolton and Co.
Well, Bolton's owned Ranelagh as well, didn't they?
Yes. Well, they used to hire that other brickworks out.
Ah. Well, did the clay come local to?
The clay was one of the what did clay from the pit?
Penison clay.
Penison.
Yeah.
That was at Dark Lane Brickworks. But the other brickworks,
Ranelagh.
was they wanted red clay and
Yeah.
the grey.
Yeah, I remember the red clay because I just forget the foreman's name was Dick somebody down there, but Mr. Finney used to be the manager.
Did he?
From he was a tyrant. He wasn't
16 years I did that.
Did you?
Yeah. 16 years at Ranelagh.
Well, when did you finish there then?
Well, my job was I was head presser on flooring quarry and.
What year was that? What year do you reckon that one?
1939 I finished.
Oh, well that was before my year. I was going to say there used to be a chap there used to wheel the coal up the runway.
That's right.
And he was that wide, his shoulders like a big gorilla he was, and he used to wheel them out of the trucks.
That's right. I used to wheel. There was a deaf and dumb bloke used to be wheel on the one, but they had different ones wheeling that up. You know.
And well, going back from the pit, Dark Lane pits, there was 3. Can you remember any of them working?
No.
None of them. They were all finished then before your era.
Yes.
Because the one that had a serious accident, hadn't it? The pit fell back down the shaft, and there was about 4.
Say the back of the railway station.
Which that's the
Mallinsley station.
Mallinsley station, yeah.
Because you stood on the bridge.
Yeah.
And your one foot was in Mallinsley, and your other foot was in Dark Lane.
Ah.
You weren't going to stand on the bridge.
Yeah. Well, you remember the line that went down to Ranelagh.
Yes.
And there was also a line
Mineral,
going
the Mineral Line, Great Western.
Now, why did they call that the Mineral Line?
It had a mineral.
So it went. Now that goes through to the chemical.
That came from Hollinswood
Yeah.
sidings down to the chemicals.
That's the chemical works.
Yes.
With the big chimney.
That's it.
Now, what chemicals did they used to make there then?
Naphthalene.
Yeah.
Charcoal. Wood tar.
Yeah. Now, also there was a tarmac works there or something.
That was a crusher. Tarmac crusher. There used to be a big furnace there, and all the cinder and that, you know,
Yeah.
that was on the Stursley end.
Yeah.
Well, all the cinder, that's why tarmac. They had the
So,
crusher put
well, who owned that? Was it Tarmac who owned it?
Tarmac owned it.
Yeah. Well, that finished what during the war or before the war, did it?
That finished before the war, yeah.
Because there was a siding off the out, and that was the one that had the level crossing, wasn't it? That's the railway line that had the level crossing that went down to Ranelagh.
When from the Dark Lane,
Yeah.
by the chapel,
Yeah.
that was the mineral line.
Yeah.
That runs straight through to chemicals.
Yeah.
Now the other one was the back of the Dark Lane, was LMS,
Yeah. Well, that's the Dodger.
passenger.
Yeah.
Dodger, Wellington to Coalport.
Yeah. Well, we're going back now to the Ranelagh line. There used to be a cross line across it that used to go to that they used to have to, when the train went through, they had to lift this cross line off because it used to carry the clay from the, can you remember that?
The woman carried the clay from.
Into the Ranelagh pit.
Well,
That went
that was from the Marrow.
Yeah, well that went across the line, didn't it?
They'd come across the line, yes.
So they
Well,
had
what happened there? They had endless rope put
Oh, that pulled the trucks
to pull the trucks.
out of the mall hole.
That's right.
Well, what drove that then? What
A little petrol engine.
oh,
on
it was
the
only like a little motored thing. Well, like one of steam.
No,
thing.
no. Then it took on the top, and when it got close to the where the engine,
Yeah.
the little engine was in there, wasn't it? It lifted itself off the truck and left the truck standing.
Ah. Now, who was the yard foreman at Ranelagh when you were there? They're like in charge of.
Joe Finney was manager.
Yeah.
Mr. Francis was assistant manager. And Harry Hyde was what the name was, one foreman. He had the sack, Mr. Price.
Well, do you remember Eva Hollyhead was saying to me that her mother used to work. She was a ganger on the railway line. She had 9 women, and used to carry the ballast in baskets and to tidy up the line. Can you remember that era?
Where was that?
That was the back of the railway line, the back, you know. Mrs. Saffel is on about.
Mrs. Saffel?
Yeah.
Yes.
She worked at that crusher.
She worked on the crusher as well, did she?
Ah.
Well, we're on about how hard women used to have to work.
She used to push the trucks onto the siding, Mrs. Saffel did, and then they went onto the siding, running down to the Stafford pits. They used to empty the coke,
Yeah.
and then they had to load it back up again for to go to the furnace.
Well, what hours would them women work then?
Eh?
How many hours would they work in a day?
About 8.
Would they?
Uh,
So it was a hard work for a woman then, wasn't it?
about 5 women there at the time on them jobs.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So you did a list of all the people who lived in the houses for Bill and Eva. That's and number 44 was the one nearest the chapel. Is that right?
Number 44 was Tarts at the end.
The tarts.
Gittins, right? You
When
don't.
Gittins finished up with it,
Oh, number 44, Ada Gittins.
that's right.
So when we're talking about Shirley Tart,
No,
No, Shirley Tarts,
it was across
Shirley
the top road.
Tarts.
I'll have that here somewhere because this is your what you've done. This is.
Shirley Tarr didn't live in Dark Lane. She lived up in the.
End up in the farmhouses up on going towards
The lawns.
Manley or